Let me get that, whatchamacallit thingy. There we go. Substack live stream thingy.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I gotta see if
But,
I can keep
oh,
this up.
Sarah, you don't have that, do you? Did you send that to Sarah, Rev? Or
Yeah, I did. I sent the invite
okay.
to
But
your.
did you?
Um,
Okay, Sarah, I'm gonna send you the stream link so you can watch.
that's what I thought. That's what I sent. Oh, you mean on
Okay.
Substack? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, that was my
Okay.
bad. That was my bad, guys. Salt Jazz, episode 1. So you guys can start talking anytime you want.
Yeah, Loki
All
think
right.
that my camera stopped working.
The camera stopped working.
Yeah, it did.
Can y'all see this?
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Oh shoot.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
not
her.
working.
Sarah, we saw you. Revy was not paying
Okay.
attention.
Now?
Yes, see,
That's
we can see
that's
her,
probably.
obviously.
Okay, I can't see myself, so oh
All right,
well.
I'm gonna bring us up right now. We should all come into it. So I'm gonna start with you, Sarah. There's our guest of honor, Sarah SMR,
Sarah.
and there's Miss Revy, and I am trying to get mine working, so I will be there directly.
All right. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good.
Good.
Pretty okay.
Awesome.
Oh, I see myself now. Okay.
Ah,
That's
there you are.
great.
So you guys,
Oh yeah.
kick us off. Revy, talk about your writing journey. Talk about where you started. Your writing odyssey. Let's hear a little bit about it.
My writing odyssey. Wow. Okay, that makes it sound super dramatic, but um, it. I've been writing forever, but like Substack wise, I just started sharing stuff that I had on all the other all the other social media like Facebook and Instagram and stuff that wasn't going anywhere. Um, like nobody was paying attention. But the reason I write, the reason I'm writing is because A, grief, and B, just to get out of my own head. Um, and I'm hoping that some of it, like, hits people or like, you know what I mean? Like it sticks with them, and they get something out of it. Whether it's oh my god that was the worst thing I ever read, or oh that was hilarious, or okay yeah I feel that kind of sadness too. That's all I care about.
So it's kind of a relational thing for you too, right? Like you want to
Yeah,
relate to
yeah,
people and you want people to relate to you
yeah,
and
yeah. Because I
understand
can't.
your worldview.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say this is who I am without saying, well, way back in 1970, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
no.
I like that.
Okay. So Sarah, how about you? Where did your writing odyssey begin? Did it begin on the island of Ithaca or somewhere else?
Um, well, I'd say maybe a year or two ago, I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a poem um, during a pretty dark time for me. And
Right.
I shared it with my sister. And she's like, Sarah, like, since when could you write like this? And I was like, what do you mean? This is just the most random thing that you're ever going to see from me. I don't even know what this is. And I did it again, and I kept showing her the things that I was writing, and I showed them to like my aunt and all of them. And then I realized that the more that I showed them those pieces, the more it also kind of helped them with what they were going through, whether it was something similar or something
Hmm.
different. So then I was like, okay, well, I could make this even bigger, and maybe it could help more people and maybe even help me.
Yeah.
So then I started looking at different writing places and um, just a number of different things. And then I found this maybe a year ago, I think. Not totally sure about that. And then I started writing, met a whole bunch of cool people, and
Hmm.
here we are.
Nice.
Okay, so what about personal writing? Where would you guys? How old were you when you started personally writing, Revi? Like when you penned your first story? How old were you?
I
Oh gosh.
think I was like 9, maybe, because
Right.
it was like I was 5th grade, so however old it is, 9, 10 years old, when I actually sat
Hmm.
down and wrote a story for school. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is more than just an assignment. This actually makes me feel better about myself. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah,
So it was good to get that purged out of your system, what
yeah,
you
and it
wrote
wasn't.
about.
I don't even
Yeah.
know. I have it in there. It's just some dumb story that I made up. But
Hmm.
I was like, I don't have to keep all this to myself. You know,
Yeah.
even at the
Yeah.
age of 9, you're like, nobody wants to hear from a kid. Nobody wants to, oh, you're just a kid. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, it doesn't matter. You put it down and it's out there. So
Right. You're like I can bring my misery to the public.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, Sarah, have you read The Odyssey by Homer? Do you know anything about it, or would it
No.
be news to you at this point? So, Revi actually is our resident expert on The Odyssey. No, she's not. She just read
Liar.
it. She just read it recently. And Revi, give us your rundown on what's happened in The Odyssey and what you think about Odysseus and all that good stuff.
Okay. This, I didn't know there was going to be a quiz. Okay. So, so he's trying to get back home from the war, Trojan War.
Mhm.
But then Poseidon gets all pissy and tries to kill him. He
Mhm.
eventually makes other things happen too. I don't know. Um, he finally makes it. Shush. Uh, he makes it home to find that his Penelope is surrounded by all these suitors. I guess is that what they
Mhm.
are?
Yeah.
Just awful
Yeah,
people.
they are
Uh,
suitors, but they want nothing to do with her. They just want the land. They just want the kingdom of Ithaca. So
yeah, right.
that's their
But
whole bag.
they're yeah, and she staves them off with the I have this project I'm working on, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done. But
Right,
I'm not actually going to finish it because I'm just going to tear it apart every night.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
but then does he come back and she finishes it? Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah, I did. I did not do my refresher on it, but yeah, I think he comes back and she does. But she finishes it. And then once she finishes it, he basically goes on a killing spree and kills everybody that he can
Dang.
get his
Right.
hands on. Yeah, because they've abused his wife, they've abused his son,
Yeah.
they've betrayed his trust, and he just annihilates all of them. And we were talking about
Hmm.
this earlier that his killing all of them. It's kind of like he his distance between himself and Poseidon that was born from his love for Athena, right? And Athena's favor of
Okay.
him.
Oh, the jealousy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's essentially he has done to Poseidon the same thing that these suitors are trying to do to him
Oh,
is
okay.
take
Right.
what belongs to Poseidon, and that's why Poseidon waylays him for, I
Hmm.
believe it's 10 years. So is
Yeah.
there any kind of like and Sarah, you can weigh in at any time. Do you have any like questions have you heard anything about
No.
this? No.
I feel like I've heard the name of it, but I've
Mhm.
never like read anything about it or anything. So
Right.
I have no idea.
And
It's all right.
that's fine. We're here to learn stuff. So back to you, Rev. What's did you find any like modern equivalencies in your Thug Notes
Modern?
version of yeah, the Odyssey?
Oh, modern. No, I said it. It reminded me of Les Mis. um,
Yeah,
the journey part of it. Well, it
right,
all really does, honestly.
right, and
But
it's
actual
all it's
modern.
all right. It all comes back to the science of story, and we're still telling these stories today because
Mm,
they have thematic elements, and so Les Miserables is about return and redemption, right?
hmm Yeah.
That's your take on the whole thing. So how did you relate this to the Odyssey when you were? How did you relate Les Mis to the Odyssey while you were
Well,
reading
Val,
this?
Valjean is in prison, and he's
Mm,
fighting to get out of prison. He finally does that after whatever many years. Can't decide exactly,
mm,
but quite a few years, and then he goes off to start over. Basically, finds
Right.
himself in the house of this bishop who
Mhm.
literally saves his life, uh, spiritually and physically.
Right.
And then from there, he makes something of himself, and he becomes the mayor, and he takes on all these factories and everything, and he becomes the
Mhm.
boss. He becomes the one in control.
Right.
But then he happens upon Fontaine, and I
Right.
think that's like Fontaine is Penelope,
Hmm.
maybe. And then he happens upon
Possibly.
her, and in a way, I mean, not exactly, but anyway,
Mhm.
he happens upon her, but he isn't paying attention, doesn't understand what's going on, fires her
Mhm.
from her
Yeah.
job, which shoves her into the world of prostitution. And meanwhile, she's got this. Well, I
Getting a
mean,
little
that was
adult.
literally.
Getting a little adult. This story.
Well, that's what I meant. I didn't read it.
We
Jeez.
can blame
But like
Victor
they're not
Hugo.
bad, right?
Yeah.
Or
And
Are any
who's
of these
bad in this
characters?
story?
Nobody's really bad. They're all just like confused and
no. Yeah.
like there is somebody that pursues him, his nemesis, which would be Javert,
Javert.
right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But
He's
Javert's
not
not
bad
really a
either.
bad guy. He just thinks that this is his God-given duty. In fact, he sings a song
Yep.
at some point in the musical that
Yep.
talks
Yep.
about how it's written in the stars that he has to do this.
Yep.
So Valjean, and this is how you draw parallels between these stories. Valjean is like Javert's white whale. It's like his Moby Dick, the one that got away.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that's what Odysseus is to Poseidon. He's Poseidon's Moby Dick. He's the one that got away,
Mm-hmm.
the one he can't quite kill or catch. So
Right. And is that part of the story, or is my brain just thinking that from a musical? Does he kill Poseidon's son?
does he kill Poseidon's son? I think yeah. I believe you're talking about what is his name? He's the cousin of
Uh,
Achilles.
uh,
Patroclus.
Paulo. Okay, yeah. That.
I'm gonna look this up. You can keep
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. But anyway, it's the same thing as, and I guess there's not really an Athena.
Hmm.
Oh well, this is just my like trying to put the characters in the little slots. But had Eponine survived, she might have been Athena.
Well,
Anyway,
like defend that a little. Why do you think Eponine would have been Athena? What's your
because
thesis?
that's what she's done her whole life. She has battled. She has battled for survival. She has battled to be noticed. You know, battled her own family. Battled to be free. And she's kind of getting there. And then
Right.
it goes down the barricade, and it doesn't end well.
Right.
But I think she was on the verge of that.
Hmm. Becoming like a warrior type, kind of rising
like,
up to the ashes.
Nobody's going to pay attention. Exactly, and also like, well, nobody's giving me any attention. Nobody's giving me any of their right kind of attention. I'm going to make them.
Mm-hmm. So no, he didn't kill Poseidon's son. I just looked that up. He did.
Okay.
He killed Patroclus. It was Achilles that killed Patroclus, or not Achilles. It was Hector that killed Patroclus. Yeah.
Okay.
So where can I find this at? Because now I'm curious. I want to.
This is
I
in
wanna
the
check it
public
out.
domain because this is from early antiquity, so you can find this anywhere in the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite version of it, and I'm going to see if I could find this. It's a modern retelling of it. Y'all don't have to sit there and watch me type. Y'all can keep
No,
going.
I just like unfocused there for a second. I think if you have Kindle or something like it, I think you can get it for free.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get the
That's
public
awesome.
domain one on Kindle,
Uh-huh.
but it's a little dense,
Yeah,
and I would recommend
yeah, but
maybe a modern retelling. I'm trying to think who that was
yeah,
that did the modern retelling. I think it was Daniel Taylor. I'm gonna look for that.
yeah, that's what you that's the name you said before, I remember. Yeah.
Hmm.
But also, if you're like
Problem
me,
is,
you
there's
need to like the cheat sheet, and you can go and find like the whatever it's called, Cliff Notes.
right, or we could find the Thug Notes. Thank you, Revi. I got a little bit
Oh,
off
yes, that
course,
too.
and you put me right back on course. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, there's like a million of these things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many retellings. Everyone's like, I'm gonna retell the Odyssey, and it's like, babe, somebody
Hmm.
already did.
I cannot believe I have not
Yeah.
read this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is this. You're not quite. I don't think you're quite like at the grade level where they would read this.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think we even went over any of that stuff to like senior year. So
Yeah. So buckle up. You're about to get the Thug Notes treatment.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I
Yes,
have
it's
because the name sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Maybe you've seen a film variation of it. There was a Brad Pitt film. What was that
mhm,
called? Troy. And then
right.
there's currently an Odyssey in theaters now, but
Yep.
it's directed by Christopher Nolan. But here comes the Thug Notes coming at you.
This is really good.
You know what it is, bitches. Thug Notes. And this week we keeping it epic with Homer's Odyssey. Getting real up in the kingdom of Ithaca. King Odysseus been gone for almost 20 years, and even his son Telemachus and sexy wife Penelope ain't heard a peep about where he at. Since everybody figuring he dead, 108 shady hustlers start macking on Penelope so they can get a crack at some of that royal poontang and crown
my
themselves
gosh.
king. Apparently, Odysseus been stuck on some island where he's been pussy whipped by the goddess
Oh
Calypso.
God, I'm
And
sorry
all
about the
her
language.
junk. But
You
all
okay
the
over there,
goddess
Sarah?
purpose tell Calypso
I'm
she
good.
gotta take Odysseus off
Okay.
a short leash so he can get his ass home. Odysseus set sail for Ithaca, but the sea god Poseidon got a stick up his ass and drops a nasty storm on my boy. Odie shakes off that hater, and with the help of the gods, makes it to the shore of Phaeacia, where he starts vibing with the king and queen about his travels. He tells him about the time he punked a cyclops named Polyphemus. Odysseus told this fool that his name is Nobody, gets him crazy drunk, and shanks him in the eye when he's passed the out. So now when Polyphemus say that nobody has blinded me, all the other Cyclopses be all like, what you yapping about, man? Turns out the Cyclops he wrecked actually be Poseidon's son, and the god of the sea is all butthurt about it. So that's the
Oh.
reason it's taken Odysseus almost 10 years to
No.
get home from the Trojan War. Finally, Odysseus makes it back to Ithaca, and with Athena's help, disguises himself as a nasty hobo. Later, Penelope decides she's gonna give herself to whoever can string Odysseus' bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads. After Odysseus wins the contest like a boss, he reveals himself to everybody. Then he goes straight post on all them haters trying to get freaky with his woman. Once Odysseus done stacking bodies, the people be all like, Odysseus, what the man? So just when Odysseus about to start messing again, Athena steps in and tells everybody, chill, baby. I don't want no drama. Thanks to the gods, Ithaca is at peace. Doing the nasty
my
with begging
gosh.
goddesses, laying a whoop on cyclopses, and sticking it to all powerful divine beings ain't no thing for Odysseus, cause every day he hustling. Now it ain't only the muscle that giving Odysseus true OG status, he also got mad street smarts. Whenever some fool steps up to Odysseus, he able to juke him by lying his ass off and rocking different disguises. For example, by giving the Cyclops a fake name and dressing like a hobo when he back in Ithaca, he able to get the jump on all his enemies. Folktale players call this motif the trickster. But even someone as hardcore as Odysseus ain't always in the driver's seat. Cause sometimes he's behind the wheel, but other times he's riding bitch in the god's whip. This brings me to one of the poem's main themes. Is it the god's fault that bad shit happens on Earth? Or is humanity responsible for all that mess? Peep this quote from Big Daddy Zeus, the king of the gods. Mortals, they're always blaming the gods for their troubles, when their own witlessness causes them more than they were destined for. Who's to blame for old Diddy being gone for so long? Was it his own doing since he blinded Poseidon's son? Or was Poseidon just being a seriously backwards dude? Now you can't flow about Odysseus without getting the lowdown on the story of Agamemnon, who also tried to get himself home after the Trojan War. Except when he got there, he found his woman hot in bed with some other player who straight ghosted his ass. But lucky for Odysseus, his woman ain't like that. He got one of the flyest biddies on the planet who slangs her own brand of trickery. She says she can't shack up with no sucker till she done weaving some cloths, but every night she undoes what she did during the day. This fox manages to keep these cats in line for 10 whole years while Odysseus tries to get his ass home. And it's that righteous endurance that make her just as heroic as Odysseus himself. So if there's one thing that Penelope, Athena, and other ladies prove, is that even a Greek hero as bad as Odysseus ain't doing shit without a woman. Yo, thanks for watching Thug Notes. Subscribe, check out my other videos, and tune in next week, homeboy.
Sarah's in the main seat now. Sorry, Sarah. I'll get that.
Oh
my
I'll get
gosh.
that.
Hey,
The star of
I
the
looked away
show.
for 2 seconds.
I'm sorry about that. I gotta put the cheesecloth back up. Give me a second.
Not gonna lie, that dude sounds like that one person from Good Burger, and I couldn't get over it. That's all I thought about.
Yeah.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. How can I help you?
Yep.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to my cheesecloth. There it is. There we go.
Curious
You
what.
can- you can-
So. Huh? So Marlena. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to say it. Was curious what this was all about. It is about Odysseus and how that relates to actual the stories now, stories we tell, and other stories like modern times. Nicole,
Right,
hi! I'm so excited you're here. Sorry.
The continued stories that we tell,
Mhm.
based on previous stories. Every story that comes is a rendition of something that has come before,
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
thing. And like we were talking about earlier, Rev and I were talking about prison return songs. That's a common thematic element, is especially in the Serbo-Croat story singers. It was a common practice to tell these stories of people returning from prison. And you'd think like the story of the Odyssey, it's not really somebody returning from prison, but it is a prison that Odysseus didn't
Yeah, it
really
is
want to
in a
be in.
way.
He did not want to fight the Trojan War. He wanted to stay home in Ithaca. He wanted to enjoy his family and his child, but he was compelled by Agamemnon and his goons to go fight in the war. So he is imprisoned in a way, and he's desperate to get home. So yeah, we're kind of like all over the place, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's not.
We had a plan.
I really have to check this out.
We had a plan going forward. Yeah, you have to read them in tandem as well. There's the Iliad and the Odyssey. And then the Aeneid of Virgil gives you a little bit more information, even though that's a Roman variant of the story, but it does add a little bit to it. And so there is a modern day connection between the stories we continue to tell and Odysseus. So Revi, what's a modern day story that you see parallels in Odysseus besides Les Miserables?
Okay, you're gonna shoot down my Les Mis obsession. That's fine. No,
It's
I think
fine.
I think it's like, yeah, it's out there in all the stories, but I think it's all of us, isn't it? Like you're talking about being stuck in a war, being stuck in a cage or whatever. I think for like as writers, we're stuck in our brains,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
And you're not fighting to get out of your brain, but you're fighting to be heard. You're fighting to not censor yourself, or you
Right.
know. And people are like, oh, I have demons. Oh, this, that, and the other things. But really, what the demons, the evil or whatever. And I won't get into all that, but I'm just saying, from the Odyssey point of view, it's your own self, your self doubt.
Right. Right. Yeah,
So
I
you're
mean,
fighting that.
yeah, that's part of it. I mean, we were talking earlier about what a baller that Penelope is. And the narrative that Penelope is telling through her threading and weaving is she's saying,
Mm-hmm.
Odysseus is coming back. I don't care what anyone says. He's coming back, and I'm going to keep his flame alive by, sewing the shawl, which is a funerary garb. She's meant to put on when he dies. So she says, I'm going to continue weaving this story. And it's too bad Teddy's not here, because Teddy loves the idea of a story being woven like a fabric, so.
Yeah.
He's telling them things all the time.
Oh yeah, he loves this stuff. He talks about his flocati, which there's a Greek equivalent of the flocati in Jason and the Argonauts, the golden fleece. In fact, the Greek word would have been flocati. So it's like,
Okay.
And there's a reason all these stories endure, is because we need them. They are therapeutic, and I'm not going to get into writing as healing. We all know writing is healing,
Right.
and it has
Right.
a profound impact on our mental state. But also, you pointed out that it's also a prison as well. Like I'm sure you've dealt with writer's block, but like, how extreme has your writer's block gotten to where you couldn't write? How deep has? Yeah, how high have the bars been in your prison of writer's block?
Writer's block for me has not necessarily been like, oh my gosh, I can't write anything, but it's been like putting down a bunch of stuff, being excited about, or at least being interested in, like, oh, okay, that's a new idea, and then not being able to finish it. Like, oh, there's 3 pages of amazing things that just came out of my brain or came from a dream or whatever, and then nothing ever happens with it because I can't connect the dots.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's rough. So how do you... Hey, Nicole, Sarah... No, Sarah, you're here. Why am I saying hello to you?
You're talking to Sarah.
Hi, Marlena. I'm just checking the chat. HP is here, or came in earlier. That's the first time I have looked at the chat. So, Sarah, how do you deal with writer's block, and how extreme does your writer's block get?
Gosh. I'd say it used to be a little bit worse until I started just like looking around me. Like, if I'm in the middle of a poem and then I get really stuck and I'm like, okay, where the heck do I go now? I'll just look around me at some random thing. Like, if I see a water bottle, I'll find some way to relate that to what I'm writing about, whether I turn it into a metaphor or something, that's how I like to kind of get out of that. Sometimes it doesn't help and sometimes it does, but
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, my method for that is I just give up. I just give up on it. No,
This is not a method.
I don't give up entirely on it. I just put it aside for a little while, come back to it with fresh eyes, and that usually helps me out. So we've got another scene for you. We're talking about stories and how they continue on. So the Coen brothers had the audacious plan to redo the Odyssey in a single film, and that film was called "O Brother, Where Art Thou?" And I wanted to show the scene of the Cyclops to you guys.
What if you could make a song using only your voice? Let's start with the drums.
I don't like the ad, but we do what we got to do. This is their interpretation of the Cyclops. See if you can see like any similarities to what. That was a little horrific. So do you see any similarities between that and Odysseus' encounter with the Cyclops that you saw from the Thug Notes?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the Cyclops is, well, let's say it's self-centered, but is not wants to be the controller of it all, but doesn't actually have that power.
Right. His role is he's a shepherd. And so he has this perception that he has to control everything around him. And the Bible salesman in that, I feel like he is representative of that, because he presents himself as a shepherd at first. He sells Bibles to lead people to God, and then he's just a charlatan like the rest of them.
Yep.
And that's the terror of the Cyclops, that people walk around with this fear of the Cyclops. And then when Odysseus breaks him with simple logic,
Yep.
and tricks him into thinking he's not there by calling himself nobody. And it's like, how dumb is the Cyclops that the Cyclops is like, okay, if it's nobody, then it's nobody. And then he lets his guard down, and Odysseus ends up stabbing him in the eye. And so that's like a more modern take on it. And there's kind of a reversal in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Because the Cyclops is smart, and Everett and Delmar are stupid. They're stupid as the day is long.
Yeah.
In fact, Everett sits there the entire time while the Cyclops is laying out his plan, and just keeps eating his corn on the cob, like nothing's happening, even though Delmar's getting the crap beaten out of him.
Mm-hmm.
They all sound controlling.
True.
Yeah, I mean
That's true.
that's largely what it's all about, is control. Is the gods want their control over, the fealty of man, and then all the men that come to supplant Odysseus, they want control over the kingdom and the fruits of the kingdom and the people of the kingdom. It all comes down to control. And Odysseus is the character that has no control in his own life, seemingly such. But when he encounters Callisto on her island and she grants him eternal life, he decides that he doesn't want to live forever. He doesn't want to be immortal.
No.
He wants to go home. He wants to see his wife. And he wants to die. The great gift of life to him is that you can eventually die, that it eventually passes away. And by that point, he has seen too much, and he has suffered too much, and he makes the decision. He takes control of his own life and decides he's going to leave that island. He's going to choose death over immortality. And I think that's kind of like, we all have that struggle, like, for control over our own lives, because it all seems so chaotic.
Oh yeah.
So we're all on our own little odyssey. We're all cast to the waves by chaos.
I mean, that kind of comes back to that when somebody does pass away and somebody says, "Oh, well, they're in a better place." Okay, great. Then why are we still here if they're in the better place? Why aren't Not to get like all maudlin, but it's that idea that
more philosophical than depressing, because you're saying, why is this life not the better place?
Yeah.
That's hard to think
Why?
about.
Yeah, why do we have to suffer here on this plane of existence? I mean, it's a thing I struggle with as a Christian. Couldn't God make this all paradisical? But that brings me back to Thomas More. It's, if you live in this utopian paradise, then you have to ask yourself, what is this utopian paradise built on? Why is everything perfect? And what had to be sacrificed, what had to be lost to make everything perfect?
Well, I mean, I don't think we'd learn anything if it was already perfect, because if we go through all the bad things and we learn more. So if it was already all just perfect and great and we didn't have any consequences or anything, then I feel like we'd be more greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if we do know the ending, how this all ends, then we would try to control it. We could try to control the ending. And Sarah actually said that to me, very astute observation, that if we know the ending, then we're going to try to change it. We're going to try to control it in any way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
so
think we already tried to do that.
Right. And that's the theme in our storytelling, right? Is that we want the ending to go in a certain direction, but no matter how many avenues we try, like, do we go with the happy ending? Do we go with the sad ending? The ending is going to be the ending, whether we like it or not sometimes. That's what I've often found. But then I'm a pantser. I'm not a plotter. You know, I'm not somebody that plots every move. So I fly by the seat of my pants. But I find it always reaches an inevitable conclusion that I can't really resist.
Hmm. Well, yeah, we all want to know what's gonna happen, what it's gonna be like, but also like this urge to like that saying like, oh, they're in a better place. Well, okay, great, but how do we make this the better place while we're here?
Right.
And I don't really think there's an answer to that other than try to get out of your head.
Yeah, that's you're saying that this should be the better place, and that's how you make it the better place, is that you write about it. And Nicole made a statement here in the chat. She said, "Isn't religion the prison?" I think yes, organized religion
Yeah,
very
that's
much
what I
can be
said.
the prison, because did you say that?
Yeah, in the chat.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Look at you. You're on top of things. I'm being lazy over here.
Already ahead.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the trap of organized religion is they want your money. It's not about faith or belief or anything like that. They want your money, and as soon as they've got their fingers in your soul, your money comes secondary to everything.
Yeah, right. And they don't actually give a rat's ass about your soul. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They can pretend all they want, but
Mhm.
like here where I am, there's a certain church that just keeps making their buildings bigger and expanding all over the place and drawing people
Oh, yeah.
in
Mega churches, yeah.
for the money. And yeah, that's literally what it's becoming. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, if we know that that's out there, that's what they want from us, then we can resist that, you know.
Hmm.
If you like, I always say, if you see the cliff coming, then you can avoid driving off of it, you know.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's a very good saying. I'm nervous as hell.
No,
I'm
it makes
always
sense.
nervous as hell.
Hey. No,
I don't know.
it makes sense practically. Yeah.
Mhm.
But on the other
Yeah.
side of things too, there's people who may see what's going on, but they're so they've got it so
Mhm.
ingrained in their brain that the church is always right, or that the higher ups in the church know everything there is to be known, and so they just
Right.
follow along.
Yeah.
That's how you get
That kind of-
into the whole
all of that.
trap.
Yeah. Go ahead,
It's-
Sarah.
I said that's how you get into the trap. Like there's a lot of places they put a lot of effort into learning, a certain religion, even if they don't believe in it themselves, and they'll even put money into that. So they're putting more into it than they're gonna gain from it. They may want the money,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, if they build this whole thing and they learn about it, and they're not getting what they want, then
Mhm.
they're never going to be happy. And so then the people, they're either going to realize what's happening or they're not going to. So,
Mhm.
The more angry those people get, the more the whole
Mhm.
thing just falls apart. And so then
Right.
a lot of times those communities, they blame it on the people. And so they flip the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very controlling.
Right. Yeah. That's a very good observation. If
Wow, I'm
if
so freaking
if
smart. Okay.
yeah, if our church is struggling, it must be your fault. The parishioner, it must be your fault.
Yeah, you're not giving up enough, so you must not care about us. You must not care about
Mhm.
God, so
Mhm.
you don't belong here. Yeah.
The tithes aren't high enough, so God hates us because of you're
Right.
not giving us enough money. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Wow,
Mhm.
that was an amazing point. You're an amazing kid, though. You get it. You are so sharp.
Yeah.
You're as sharp as an X-Acto knife.
I was just thinking, I was like, gosh, I hope that made sense.
Yes.
Oh, it
absolutely.
did. It absolutely made sense. Absolutely made sense. So, Sarah, what do you have coming up for yourself? Like, what are your plans? I know you got school coming up.
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general. What are your plans on Substack? Any projects you're working on? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, as far as like the whole school thing, I've got a lot of stuff I got to get ready here on Substack, and that kind of feeds into what I'm going to do at school, which is set up a big community led environment type thing with my principal, and I'm going to talk to my peers, and hopefully I can maybe encourage them and let them know that they are capable of doing the things that they may be limited to with maybe how old they are, or just a number of things. And then I've already sent out emails to a number of different schools, and I'm getting that together. So, and a lot of them actually, they were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So hopefully that'll go as planned. And I'm going to feed that in through Substack, and I'm going to make like different articles about it during each like session and stuff. And I've got to really kick off all the podcasts that I say I'm going to do, because I've been saying that for months and I still have not done a single thing about it. So I'm very guilty on that part, but I'm working on it.
Good.
And I think that's pretty much it for right now.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow. That's amazing. What are you talking about? That's it.
That's absolutely amazing. That's good charitable work that you're trying to get into, and wow, I appreciate it. So, I don't know what I'm doing next. I had a plan. I had a script, and Revi and I just at the last minute decided to completely ignore the script. So do you guys want to watch like an educational breakdown of the Odyssey? Sarah, is that something that would interest you? Or you?
Yeah.
All right. It kind of play it by ear.
I need it. I don't understand it either.
Yeah, it's all jazz at this point, man. Like, man plans, God laughs. I laugh loudest. Okay, here we go. This is an educational breakdown of the Odyssey. This is actually what helped me explain it to Lily when she was in high school.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know. Part 2.
I think this is the same video. May not be.
Exactly how much your competitors are making.
You've probably heard the name The Odyssey thrown around in your school, or maybe even looking forward to the upcoming Christopher Nolan adaptation.
No, this isn't it.
What even is this story? The craziest part, though, is if you plotted Odysseys' actual route on a modern map, the journey from Troy back to Ithaca should take about 2 weeks. Instead, it takes a decade. Not because he's lost in a simple navigation sense, but because of divine interference, human arrogance, and a constant battle between intelligence and impulse. So in this video, I'm breaking down the full story of the collapse of Odysseus' household in Ithaca, to Telemachus' search for his father, to the insane monster-filled voyage across the ancient Mediterranean, and finally the brutal return and reckoning that ends it all. And by the end, you're going to understand not just what happens, but why this story has survived nearly 3,000 years of retellings, including the massive cinematic version we're about to see on the big screen. Let's get into it. Before Odysseus starts getting thrown across the ocean by angry gods, we first need to understand how the Odyssey works. This epic comes from ancient Greece and was shaped over centuries through oral storytelling. Basically, traveling poets called rhapsodes would perform it from memory using repeated phrases, rhythms, and formulaic storytelling patterns. It wasn't originally a book, it was a performance. That's why the story feels weirdly non-linear. It jumps, it repeats, it zooms out and back in. And structurally, it's very different from something like the Iliad. Where the Iliad is about rage, war glory, and battlefield heroics, the Odyssey is about survival, intelligence, and getting back to normal life without losing your mind. One is about winning glory and war, and the other is about making it home alive afterward. And that distinction matters more than anything else in the story. We start not with Odysseus, but with his son Telemachus. And things in Ithaca are not okay. Odysseus has been gone for 20 years. 10 years fighting in Troy, and another 10 just trying to get home. Everyone assumes he's dead, so what happens to his kingdom? It collapses. Over 100 suitors have moved into his palace, eating his food, draining his wealth, and aggressively trying to marry his wife, Penelope. They're not just annoying, they're effectively trying to steal his entire legacy while he's gone. And Penelope, she's holding them off with pure psychological warfare. She agrees to choose a new husband, Poseidon after she finishes weaving a burial shroud for Odysseus' father, but every night she secretly unweaves what she did during the day, so the cycle never ends. Meanwhile, Telemachus is stuck in the middle of this chaos. He's grown up without a father, surrounded by disrespect, and completely unsure how to assert authority. So the goddess Athena steps in. She tells him, essentially, you need to go find out what happened to your father. And that becomes the first movement of the story. Telemachus traveling across Greece, meeting old war companions like Nestor and Menelaus, gathering fragments of truth. And what he learns is this: Odysseus is alive, but trapped on an island with the goddess named Calypso. That sets everything else in motion. Now, we finally meet Odysseus. He's on the island of Ogygia, held by the nymph Calypso. And here's the important detail. He's not being tortured, he's being offered paradise, immortality, comfort, safety, no war, no suffering, no death. And he hates it, because Odysseus doesn't want eternal comfort. He wants his life back, his identity, his wife, his home. So when Zeus finally orders Calypso to release him, Odysseus builds a raft and sails out into the ocean alone. And that's when the gods remind him who's in charge. Poseidon, god of the sea, absolutely obliterates his raft with a storm. Odysseus survives only barely, drifting for days, until he washes up on the land of Scheria, the Phaeacians. And this is where the story shifts tone, because instead of monsters, we get civilization. Princess Nausicaa finds him naked and exhausted, and for the first time in years, Odysseus is treated with basic human dignity. He's brought to the palace, fed, and hosted in a way that contrasts sharply with everything he's experienced since Troy. And when they ask who he is, he finally starts telling his story. This is the core of the epic. Odysseus recounts everything that happened after Troy. Right after Troy, his men raid Isthmus and refuse Odysseus' orders to retreat. They stay at a party on the beach, get hit by a massive counterattack, and suffer heavy losses. Next, they hit the island of the Lotus Eaters, where the crew eats a honeyed plant that erases their memories and ambition, forcing Odysseus to drag them back to the ship screaming. Things go completely off the rails against the Cyclops Polyphemus, a giant son of Poseidon. Trapped in his cave, Odysseus watches the monster eat his men alive. Playing the long game, Odysseus tells the giant his name is Nobody, gets him dead drunk, and drives a sharpened wooden stake into his single eye. When Polyphemus screams to his brothers, "Nobody is killing me," the other giants walk away, allowing the Greeks to escape by clinging to the bellies of the giant's sheep. Safely back on his ship, Odysseus makes the most catastrophic mistake of his life. Fueled by pride, he yells his real name back to the shore. Polyphemus immediately prays to Poseidon, cursing Odysseus to lose all his men and return to a house of total chaos. The universe becomes rigged against them. Aeolus, the wind god, gifts them a bag containing all the stormy winds. They sail so close to Ithaca they can see the shore fires, but while Odysseus sleeps, his suspicious crew opens the bag looking for gold, blasting them back across the sea. They then encounter the Lystragonians, giant cannibals who pelt the fleet with boulders, sinking 11 of his 12 ships. With one ship left, they land on the island of Circe, a witch goddess who turns a scouting party into pigs. Armed with a divine herb from Hermes, Odysseus resists her magic and forces her to restore his men. Circe becomes an ally, but delivers a chilling directive. To get home, Odysseus must sail to the underworld. In the realm of the dead, Odysseus speaks with fallen Trojan heroes, his own mother, and the prophet Tiresias, who warns him to never touch the sacred cattle of the sun god. Returning to the living, the gauntlet tightens. He survives the sirens' mind-warping songs by having his crew plug their ears with beeswax while tying him to the mast. He then navigates the narrow strait of Scylla and Charybdis, making the brutal choice to steer close to the six-headed Scylla, sacrificing 6 men to save the rest from the lethal whirlpool. Finally, stranded and starving on the island of the sun god, the crew ignores all warnings and slaughters the sacred cattle while Odysseus sleeps. Zeus delivers instant retribution, hitting the ship with lightning. The boat splinters and the remaining crew drowns. Only Odysseus survives, clinging to wreckage until he washes up on Ogygia, bringing the story full circle.
Alert! Radar contact! Enemy unit! All hands to battle station! On my way!
Immerse yourself in a thrilling naval story.
Incoming aircraft!
Moved by his tale, the Phaeacians sail Odysseus home to Ithaca while he sleeps, leaving him on the beach with a hoard of treasure. The epic now transforms from a fantasy adventure into a tense psychological thriller. The palace is crawling with over 100 armed suitors. Knowing a direct approach means death, Athena disguises Odysseus as a filthy, broken old beggar. In this form, he tests the loyalty of his people, reuniting with his loyal swineherd Eumaeus and his son Telemachus. Together, father and son plot a surgical strike. Telemachus will lock away the palace weapons, trap the suitors inside, and leave no survivors. The next day, Odysseus enters his own home. The suitors mock him and throw a footstool at his head, while Odysseus stores up the abuse, even meeting a guarded Penelope who fails to recognize him. Sensing the tension, Penelope announces a final challenge. She produces Odysseus' old gold hunting bow, a weapon only he is strong enough to flex, and promises to marry whoever can string it and shoot an arrow cleanly through 12 aligned axe heads. The suitors strain, sweat, and fail completely. Then the ragged beggar asks for a turn. Ignoring the suitor's laughter, Odysseus takes the bow, strings it with the effortless grace of a musician tuning a harp, and fires the arrow cleanly through all 12 axes. The rags drop from his shoulders, the room freezes, and the suitors realize the trap has sprung. The execution begins instantly. Odysseus drives an arrow straight through the throat of the lead suitor Antinous. The remaining men scrabble for weapons, finding only bare walls and locked doors. Odysseus, Telemachus, and 2 loyal servants systematically purge the palace until the floor runs deep with blood. With the suitors dead, Odysseus faces his hardest battle, convincing Penelope. Traumatized by years of imposters, she tests him by ordering a servant to move their bridal bed. Odysseus flares up in anger, noting that it's impossible because he built the bed with his own hands around the stump of a living olive tree that anchors the house. Recognizing their private secret, Penelope finally embraces her husband. The next morning, an armed mob of the suitors' vengeful families marches on the estate, threatening a devastating civil war. Just as the two sides clash, Athena descends from Olympus on Zeus's orders. She commands both sides to drop their weapons and wipes the hatred from the townspeople's hearts. A divine enforced truce breaks the cycle of blood, and the king is finally back on his throne. At face value, the Odyssey is a monster story, a tragic tale, a travel epic, a mythological adventure. But underneath that, it's something much more uncomfortable. It's about what happens after war ends. Odysseus doesn't come home as the same man who left. He comes back shaped by trauma, survival, and constant moral compromise. And the biggest question the story asks isn't, will he get home? It's, what does it cost to actually get there? And what do you become along the way? That's why it still matters. And that's why when Nolan brings this world back to the big screen, it's not just a mythological retelling. It's a story about identity, survival, and a long shadow of violence, still echoing thousands of years later. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the video on your screen, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was a very well reasoned explanation. I am surprised. That was excellent.
Wow.
Yeah.
If they would have taught it like that at school, I might have remembered it.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about. My mouse is having a malfunction. My mouse is having a moment. Okay. Here we go. Oh no, I'm in the hot seat. Oh no, it's just me. It's just don't look at me.
That's how I feel.
So I see what you guys are talking about in the chat. You're talking about belonging and how sometimes belonging feels tentative. How do you think Telemachus, Odysseus' son, felt with all these suitors just ignoring his authority? I know it's a pretty basic question to answer, but
Invisible.
Well, yeah. And also, he was probably just more. Yeah, he felt out of control, but he also probably felt like he had to focus on kind of being the barrier between them and his mother. If even though they probably didn't give a rat's ass what he had to say.
Well, that's why Athena, her telling him to go find him, it's a big ask because he knows that if he leaves Ithaca behind, there's a fair chance he's going to come back and find, the throne completely stolen from him. And there's a moment in the Odyssey that I love because it's a very human moment. It's with Odysseus' dog. And Odysseus' dog has been standing watch the entire time Odysseus has been gone. I don't know how that's possible, considering it was like 20 years. This must have been an old-ass dog. But the dog stands its vigil the entire time Odysseus is gone. And then when Odysseus returns, it sees him, and it immediately dies upon his return. Yeah, because he realized that his watch was over. He didn't have to stand the watch anymore. The master was home, and he was going to make things right. I think that's beautiful, and it ties into it's such a modern take on things, on loyalty and love, and coming from ancient antiquity. That's pretty amazing to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like they predicted how we would live.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Sorry about that, y'all. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
Wait, did the dog have a name?
I don't know if the dog had a name. I can look that up real quick.
I was just thinking, like, if it did, I feel like the name would have meant something, like had a certain meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll look it up. I cannot. Odysseus is such a hard name to spell.
Mm-hmm.
Argos. Oh. So the dog's name was Argos. And, so Argos is 20 years old, which is remarkably old for a dog when he dies. He's neglected and lying on a pile of manure because nobody really cares about him other than Odysseus. And he's too weak to stand to greet Odysseus. But also Odysseus can't really go to him because that would reveal him. That would reveal himself to his enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of has to watch him die. And Argos relates to Jason and the Argonauts. Argos was a place in Greece. And it meant swift, shining, or bright. So before Odysseus leaves for the Trojan War, Homer says Argos was bred for hunting and was renowned for tracking deer, wild goats, and hares. Ironically, Odysseus never got to hunt with him before departing for Troy. So even though the dog had not fulfilled his life's purpose, he still waited for that to show the master that he had done his duty as best he could.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, he was the protector, even though nobody was giving him that job, technically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's loyalty and love right there. So there is one funny thing about the Odyssey. I'm gonna try and find this. It's a horrible histories version of the Odyssey.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Pretty funny. Let's see if I can find it. I don't think they have the full video, but they do have a compilation of the best of the groovy Greeks. Okay, so I'm bringing this in. I like to have a little laugh towards the end of these things, because...
Yeah, pretty heavy stuff.
doesn't
Come on.
Yeah, who doesn't like a little laugh? We just talked about a dog dying, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
So, here we go. This is the best. Oh, we're losing you, Sarah. I think we lost. Did we lose Sarah completely? Or am I tripping?
Nope.
I gotta check on the-
Oh, here she
she's
is.
still
Here she
here,
is.
yay.
All right.
Man, and I'm here to tell you about new ancient Greek tattoo messenger, the secret messaging revolution. Do you have trouble keeping your secret messages secret? Shh, sorry. Do you have trouble keeping your secret messages secret? Then you need new ancient Greek tattoo messenger, the perfect way to arrange a rebellion without alerting your enemies. Simply shave the head of your most trusted slave and tattoo your secret message directly onto his scalp.
Please arrange a rebellion. Ow, spelled rebellion wrong. Cross it out.
Then simply wait for the slave's hair to grow back, and voila, bingo bango! Your message is completely hidden from prying eyes. And Ancient Greek Tattoo Messenger comes with its own easy-to-hear instructions.
Psst. Shave off my hair and you'll find a secret message tattooed on my head.
I shall act on this secret message at once. Although he has spelled Persians incorrectly. So try new Ancient Greek Tattoo Messenger today. The ancient messaging system that's both here today, but not gone tomorrow. Or something. All right? Warning, slaves with pre-existing baldness are not suitable.
We ancient Greeks were quite superstitious.
We believed in ghosts and horoscopes and that the gods decided our fate. We thought the gods spoke through oracles, and so we could learn about the future.
How may I help you, my son?
Hello. I'm hoping to seek counsel from the Oracle of Delphi.
Ah, you wish to know the future.
Well, I'm Aeschylus the playwright. You might recognize me. Well, anyway, I've just written a new play, and I just want to know if it's going to be a success or not.
Ah, well, don't you worry. It is the Oracle's greatest pleasure to relieve the good people of Greece of the burden of uncertainty.
Excellent. Great. So is it just through...
There are certain administrative expenses associated with the management of a good oracle.
Yes, of course. There we go.
And there's water and heating, funds.
Okay.
That goes to what you were talking about. There's always a price for belief.
If you notice the roof.
Okay.
If you were to go to see the Oracle, you had to pay a ridiculous amount of money.
Wait, you don't write anything down after conversations?
This is Pocket. I never go anywhere without it. At the tap of a button, it records and creates organized notes based on your
That was an interesting ad. Are we all going to start surveilling each other now?
Oh, great and wise Oracle, will you please ask the
Probably,
god Apollo
yeah.
what the fates have in store for me?
In the future.
The Oracle speaks in the strange language of the gods, but we do provide a translation service.
Really?
At a very reasonable price.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
She says you will spend a lot of money.
Right, that is what I'm doing now. I want to know what's going to happen in the future. Is my play going to be a success? Will you?
Do you require additional translation services?
But yeah, right.
She says, beware the tortoise.
Really? Beware the tortoise.
Well, I could lie, but...
That's good. That's really excellent, actually.
Don't shoot the messenger, mate.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. Yeah, same to you.
Honestly, he didn't even leave a tip.
It's absolutely ridiculous. What was I thinking? Beware the tortoise. I mean, it's just absolute...
Oh, she's good.
It's true. Aeschylus really was killed when an eagle dropped a tortoise on his head. The bird thought his shiny bald patch was a rock and tried to use it to smash open the tortoise's shell. And that's the story of the tortoise and the no horrible history.
Granger knows that as an HVAC technician, the heat is on you every day. Your first call...
All right, that's actually a great learning resource for kids. Horrible histories.
I love it.
Yeah, it gives you like an unbridled look at how they were.
Yeah.
They were a mess, frankly. Let's be honest.
Oh.
So historically speaking, Helen of Troy, the Trojan Empire was in Turkey, actually. So it was more Anatolian than Greek. I mean, it was more Asian than Anatolian. Is what I meant. So, that's something you now know.
I feel like I should have had a notebook out for this.
Yeah, should have been taking notes the entire time.
I feel like I'm in school.
Right?
It's too early for that. I don't want to go.
Who wants to go to school?
Nobody.
No.
Did y'all see that
So
head thing that dude held up in the video?
Yeah. That was.
It was low key like flashbacks. This is totally random, off topic, but I went to a haunted house with my dad, and this one of the people that were working there, he was all dressed up in this like pig costume, and it had like fake blood on it, and he held up one of those like heads right behind me, and I didn't notice until I turned around, and then I literally fell into one of those like drop off things that they use to like jump off of.
Oh my god.
And then I literally went behind the whole stage. It was absolutely terrifying.
Wow.
Don't get Revi started on haunted houses. Shit. Don't you have similar bad experience with a haunted house, Revi?
Well, I don't, because I refuse to actually go in a jump scare haunted house.
Oh yeah.
If you invite me to a house that's actually haunted, and you're like, hey, let's spend the night in this haunted house where all these people died, I'd be like, awesome, let's do it. But if you invite me to a haunted house where you have to crawl through things and there are people jumping at you, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. So you just like creepy, huh?
Well, yeah. But I mean, like, a real haunted house is just trying to communicate with somebody who doesn't have a body anymore.
Yeah.
The people jumping out at you are just mean.
Are we going to get into that on the first episode of the Famazings?
We don't have to.
We're going to summon some dead peoples.
Oh gosh.
You want to summon Odysseys? Let's not put people on the spot and have them involved in an arcane ritual.
No.
I think that's already accomplished.
That you think this is
Maybe.
an arcane ritual already?
I mean, maybe.
Could be.
Just by
Who knows
speaking
with
his
Revi?
name. Hey.
Wait. Can you summon Odysseus, you think? You remember when you summoned Tupac? Can you summon Odysseus now?
Well, Odysseus has been dead a lot longer, so.
I'm sure he's got a lot to say.
True. I think we need to have probably summon Penelope first.
Oh yeah. Well, that sounds doable. We don't know a whole lot about Penelope. That's the unfortunate part of the Odyssey. You don't get a whole lot of. We know that she was strong. Obviously, she had to be strong to survive that long and to fight off those suitors.
That's why it makes
she was
it more
obviously
interesting.
Yeah. And she was obviously clever. Like,
yeah.
I'll start mourning my husband once I complete this funerary shawl, and I'm never gonna finish it. Yeah, she was an interesting lady.
She doesn't. Is she doing that because she really doesn't think that he's going to die, or she's just doing that literally to save her life?
No, I think she firmly believes that he's alive because, and it would speak to their bond of marriage being that strong. That she knows that her husband can survive anything, and that's the thing about him. He's the trickster. He's clever. Which depends. Like, I don't know how you feel about that. The moral implications of him being a recidivist liar throughout the narrative.
I mean, if that's the like liar, like that's like the most evil thing possible, but it's survival, lying to survive. So
right. So like, when is that's a good philosophical question. When is lying okay? Because there's a philosopher, forget who it was. He said you should. I think it was Kant. He said you should never lie. Even if the Nazis are at your door looking for Jews or something like that, you should never lie. That was his whole thing. So.
well, no, he's wrong. In that situation.
Yeah, but it was it's not so much that you can't lie. It's more that you could never call a lie excusable. You could never call a lie moral.
Oh. Okay. I mean, if it helps you survive, it doesn't really matter how you label it, does it?
Right. So his reasoning was leveled, and I'm going to read you his reasoning. So there was the categorical imperative, the universal law, which was Kant asked, what if everyone acted this way? If everyone lied whenever it was convenient, promises, testimony, and communication would cease to be trustworthy. because lying cannot be consistently universalized without undermining the very institution of truth-telling, Kant concluded that that lying is morally impermissible. And as for like respect for persons, Kant believed people should always be treated as ends in themselves, never merely as a means to an end. Lying manipulates another's ability to make rational decisions by depriving them of accurate information. In that sense, a lie uses someone as a tool. The duty over outcomes. For Kant, the morality of an action is determined by whether it fulfills one's duty, not by whether it produces good results. A well-intentioned lie remains a violation of duty, even if it saves a life. So that's the you shouldn't. So he had this thought experiment. He had several thought experiments. One of them was the trolley experiment, which said, if you were on a trolley, right, and down the tracks there were 3 people, and then on the other side of the tracks you could switch the tracks to another track, and there was 1 person. So the experiment is, would you pull the lever and kill the 3 people, or would you stay on the track and kill the 3 people, or would you kill the 1 person? And which is morally acceptable?
Neither.
It's impossible. There's no morally acceptable outcome.
Right.
Oh wow, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's a pretty famous one.
I think it's
but
you want to say, oh, I would choose the 1 person because that's awful, but it's less awful than 3 people, but it's not really.
I think I remember you showing a video about it too.
I did, yeah, I did that once. Yeah, because I'm a nerd. Yeah, it's does the life of one outweigh the lives of the many is the typical argument that's given on my behalf. And then so he had another thing that was called the murder at the door scenario. It concerns a murderer asking whether your friend is hiding in your house because the murderer is looking to kill your friend, right? Many people would say you should lie to protect your friend. Kant argued that you should not lie. You could refuse to answer or remain silent, but deliberately stating a falsehood would be morally wrong. He even maintained that you are responsible for your own truthfulness, not for the unforeseeable consequences that another person may bring about through their own actions. So by lying, basically...
If there's a murderer out
Right, most of us would lie, except in the exceptional case. Like, so I always go back to there was a book about them called The Good Lie. It was the child soldiers of Sudan, and so these child soldiers were meant to recruit other child soldiers. Like, if you found a child, you had to bring them to the warlord, and the warlord would turn them into a child soldier. And the cost for becoming a child soldier was really high. You had to kill a parent or an elder. You had to kill somebody before you became a child soldier. So when the Sudanese boys were being marched across Sudan, right, they would encounter other children, and they would supposedly have to tell the warlord that they encountered other children.
Right.
And but they would encounter children all the time, and it became called the good lie because they would lie about having ever seen them.
Yeah.
Just to spare them from the same misery they had undergone.
Wait, so why did they have to kill someone? Like, why was that such a big thing?
Because it was like an initiation ritual. They had to know that you were loyal to the warlord and not loyal to your own people.
Oh, okay.
But it was the loyalty was won by coercion. Because they would hold a gun to these kids' heads and say, you need to kill this person or I'm going to kill you. Or you kill this person or I'm going to kill your sister. So it was a false loyalty that they established.
So, in other words, either way, you're screwed if you're in that situation.
Yeah, it's the impossible it's the impossible choice. And they talked briefly in that video about Scylla and Charybdis in the Odyssey. And that's Odysseus' impossible choice. Either he can go to the whirlpool and lose everything, the entire ship. He himself would be fine. But then he could go to Charybdis, which is the monster, the tentacled monster, and he would lose half of his crew, which at that time is 6 men. So he chooses instead to sacrifice the 6 men. So at least some of them can make it through.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the thesis of what we were doing here. We're talking about Odysseys and how stories they repeat infinitely. And so, the idea of Scylla and Charybdis, it pops up in Kant's theory. It pops up in his trolley problem and his murder at the door problem. When, you have to make a moral decision. And you have to reflect on that moral decision. And I'm sure Odysseus was haunted by that decision he had to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah.
It literally applies to pretty much everything.
Right. Yeah, you can find any theme that you can think of. You can find it in the Odyssey. It's there in some form or another.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Iliad, or even if you go back to the Epic of Gilgamesh, you can find modern analogs. And the tendency is to think of these people as primitive, therefore simple. Primitive does not mean simple. It's like I was telling you earlier that these were clever people. They had to be clever in order to survive the way they did. And mostly they lived on the sea, and there was a constant threat that we don't know a whole lot about historically. The constant threat was from this group called the Sea People. We don't know who they were, but apparently they were incredibly savage, and they just would strip any kingdom they came across. So the Greeks had to be clever, and they had to. They
were from the same area, or they invaded them.
Nobody knows where they were from. There's a lot of theories that they could have been Norsemen, like Vikings, and that's possible because Norse boats, they have this low draft and they can go up rivers, so it is possible that eventually the Norse did sail down rivers and eventually reach the Mediterranean. And the Norse actually had this thing where they would carry boats across land over great distances, so it's theoretically possible that they harried the Mediterranean society.
But that's not in is that in Norse history too, or is that just like
No, that's the thing about the Sea People. There's we don't have any information on them. We don't know where they descended from. We don't really know what they wanted. We just know that if the Sea People were coming, you were screwed.
Yeah.
So it's why the Greek.
You don't think they're like.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's just completely unknown.
Yeah,
right?
they were completely unknown group of people. We still don't know anything about them to this day.
Okay.
We just know about hieroglyphic depictions of them, and Greek depictions of them, things like that. We don't know who they were, where they were from. We don't even know what they looked like. So, but to them, you got to consider the ancient Greek world. To them, that would have been like alien invaders.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Could it be something more supernatural?
It's possible. I mean, it's that idea has been floated, the ancient aliens theory. So it's entirely possible. What? I guess
Chrissy is here, in case you didn't notice.
Hi, Chrissy. I see your gears turning over there. What's going on?
Oh, because the minute you said Sea People, my thing are like sirens.
Oh, like mermaids. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you think
Because we're supposed to think that
Go ahead.
No, we're supposed to think that mermaids are these pretty little things that live deep in the ocean and they just float around and sing songs, but they're not. They're like evil creatures.
They are evil creatures.
So,
yeah. I mean, that's one of that's one of the far out theories, but it is out there. Aleister Crowley talked about that, about the extraordinary Atlanteans and how they had supernatural abilities and things like that. So there are theories that these were ancient Atlanteans, but I don't like to get into that because it's kind of like it's more fantasy than history. So I don't like to really go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, that's a whole other episode of the Famazings. Speaking of
Yes,
which, before we end here, I want to talk about the name, the Famazings, which we owe to the great and powerful and wonderful Sarah SMR. So, Sarah, tell us a little about a bit about Famazing. How did Famazing come about? What is it? I know it doesn't have a specific definition, but what does it mean to you?
Well, at first it was a joke. I think you were involved in that joke.
I believe so, yeah. I believe so.
And I think you said, "Oh wait, this is effing amazing," right? And so I was, and then you said sorry, and I was like, "Wait, no, it's okay. I hear worse every day." So,
Right.
I think I randomly said it in the chat. I think that's how it went down.
Sounds about right.
Then it just went from there, and then some people consider it as like fantastically amazing, or 100 different things. To me, it's anything and everything. I even made a whole
I saw that.
definition.
I was reading that last night. That was amazing.
That was amazing. Yeah.
For kind. I liked For kind. For kind was my favorite one.
Yes. Yes, because it kind of sounds like another F word, which is fun.
Yeah. So it took on a life of its own, and we each have
Yeah.
I posted a thing recently about how we interpret the map is not the territory, how we interpret words and how words work once they become our own concept. So Revi, what does famazing mean to you? Like in your head, what does famazing mean?
In my brain, I just said favorite curse word is the F word, and so it's fucking amazing without saying it.
Yeah.
But it can be like, oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, what the hell is happening? So it can be any of those emotions, I guess.
Right.
Or any of those, like, I don't know what else to say, so that's going to be my placeholder for that till I figure it out.
Yeah, my meaning I kind of arrived at by accident. Sarah was in the Hootenanny one day, and I did an image for the Mack Mazing. And it had a the Famazing Mack Mazing, yeah, and it was a mop. It was a power mop, and then there was a family on the box, and I was like, so my interpretation of Famazing has become amazing, like an amazing family, like a family of people, like they're a Famazing family. Because you take a strong structure like a family itself, and then you put it with amazing, and it's like, you can't touch. That's how amazing it is.
Yeah, right? You can't describe it. You don't understand it, but that's just the way it is.
Absolutely. So, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we're a little bananas, but we try to get a point across every now and then. What?
Chrissy has a question.
Oh.
She says, when is the last thing that really made you say that is amazing?
That's a good question.
Oh gosh.
For me, I'll go first. It was Revi sang the other day, and she sang "The House of the Rising Sun," and that was amazing. That was frankly amazing. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
So, Sarah, when was the last time something was truly amazing for you?
Oh gosh. I say this so much now, even to the people I live with, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint that. I think the last time I said that, it was to niece. She's 3, and she had made this little art thing, and I was like, wow, that's really amazing. And she had made it for me, so I thought it was pretty awesome. So yeah, I think that's the last time I said it, other than like a million lives.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've come to think that amazing is the best compliment. It's the most amazing compliment you can give somebody.
Right?
You're
Right?
you're a amazing human being. And
That's
on
why I
that,
love
I
it.
think, yeah, I think we'll end on that because the Famazing Sarah joined us for our very first episode of the Famazings, and we're so proud of you, Sarah, and we are so glad that you
Thank
could join
you.
us for this. Revi, any parting comments, thoughts, ideas?
Going along with amazing thing, and Sarah,
Mhm.
you blow my mind every time you write something. But the other day, you wrote something about like the process of writing and like how you don't want to say it, but then you say it, and then you take it back, and then you talk yourself out of it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, how are you reading? How are you reading my brain? That was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. We think you're great, and we appreciate you being here. And that's gonna conclude for us for tonight. Thank you, everyone that came in. How many people did we have? We had 13 people, which is a very lucky
13,
number.
yep.
Yeah, very lucky number. The most lucky number. I have triskaidekaphobia, so that makes me a little nervous. Anyway, this was a lot of fun, and I thank you both for joining
It
me.
was.
And I will talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Thank you
See
guys.
you later.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. That's it for tonight. Good night.
Night.
It won't end.